Hello and welcome. We are live. Let's see. Please. Let's load in here. I'm doing a live on the same topic of a video that I just published. The video got demonetized. I wonder why. I have no idea why. I thought it was a fair assessment. It was just me saying, hey, the things that I used to see in the United States, I haven't seen while I live in Russia. I thought that was a fair thing to talk about. Um, I just think that it's ridiculous. I get demonetized for just saying the things that I think or saying things that I see. Shout out to Iraq. I hope you're doing good out there. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, all our regulars. I gotta lubricate my freaking eyeballs. I was recording a video and now we're doing a live, but I got this damn light in front of me, so my eyeballs dry out. But we're gonna let people load in here. Got my Siberian hermano logging in. And honestly, that video was, I think, was very fair. I come from a place, and I'll tell you guys some stories. Like, I was involved in so many, well, not directly, but there were riots and there were walkouts, there were protests. I'm from the city of Los Angeles, in a small area where there's always Mexican Americans and other small ethnic groups protesting things. So I'm from that generation that did walkouts and stuff like this. Oh my gosh, my sister's here. That's right, my sister's gonna be flying into Russia soon. Everything is all right. I'm in no danger. Everything that's happening right now is happening in Los Angeles. It's happening in Washington, D.C. I'm gonna be going over the things that I went over in my recent video, but I just wanted to let you know that, to me, in my opinion, when I say that I haven't seen the type of things that I used to see, it's not to say that I think that Russia's amazing because they don't exist here. It's just an observation, right? It's very hard for me to put it into words to where people don't get offended. Like, if you tell someone, I like the fact that I don't have to worry about riots and people breaking into my house, or businesses being broken into, businesses that I support, my local community, because this type of stuff, looting, happens very often in Los Angeles. We have looting at least once every 5 years. We have riots once every 5 years. This is a normal thing that happens where I come from. And I feel like people who don't like Russia will say, oh, it's Russian propaganda. No, I'm just saying the things that I grew up looking at. I come from a place, I mean, if my sister's still watching, my sister can tell you so many stories where we had bad run-ins with the cops. And it's just like, it's always a wild, wild west feeling out there in LA, especially when there's something to complain about, especially when you are in a place where what people call minorities, which is like Mexican Americans, they're not a minority in Los Angeles. So they are the majority, and they usually will riot and loot. And I don't identify with these people. I don't identify with these people. Like, I'm a Mexican American, but a citizen of both countries, right? And I think it's really discouraging when a lot of these people in the United States will loot while waving the Mexican flag, never had been to Mexico, never been involved with the culture. So yeah, it's crazy, man. Honestly, I don't support any of that kind of stuff. But we're gonna wait a little bit longer to get into the topics here. This is just the main thing that was on my mind. Every Sunday, I think I'm gonna do these horizontal streams as much as I can. There's going to be live streams coming as soon as my sister comes to Russia. We're gonna be live streaming from a couple of different places, so stay tuned for that. Uh, she's already got a few days. I mean, a few weeks left. Do people remember the riots in Moscow 5 years ago? We're going to be looking at that actually. We're going to be looking at some videos from inside of Russia where protests and that kind of stuff is happening. Again, I'm not the type of channel to hide that kind of stuff. I actually had it queued here. I had one thing queued. 1 second. I had these type of things queued, right? Like I'm not here to say that Russia doesn't have its problems and all these protesting and stuff, but I've seen anti-war protests, and this one here, what we're looking at here, this is an anti-war protest. I've seen anti-war protests in the United States. I've seen anti-war protests in Russia. I've seen with my own eyes people holding blank pieces of paper and being detained or being questioned. Like I came to Russia in April of 2022, so I got to see a lot of that. And to be honest, I don't really disagree with the fact that you should be able to voice your opinion. But if you live in a country where your opinion against the government is illegal, or it's not, or it's frowned upon, or they make new laws where you can't discredit the Russian military, every country has different laws. I would obviously not break the law in the United States if they said you're not allowed to, I don't know. I don't know if stolen valor is illegal in the United States, but every country has different laws. No country should be following the rules of another country. You could leave that to the European Union to sink each other down with different laws and policies, but in the United States and every other free country, they should have their own laws. Culture really dictates what people are going to be okay with. If the Russian people, all 150 million of them, didn't like something, I've said this before on a video. I said the Russian people usually will protest and overcome oppression. It's in their genes. It's in their genes. So I'm gonna go ahead and read some. I'm gonna go ahead and read some of your guys' comments. But let me know where you're watching from. Thank you so much for joining me. We're going to be on here for about an hour. I just released the video on this topic, so if you haven't watched it, you can open up another window and get it queued up to watch. I got my eyes lubricated, but now it feels like I might have to use eye drops again. Let's go ahead and look at the first thing I want to talk about. So Luz says, I feel like there's no patriotism with Mexican Americans. For my own communities, it's beautiful to wave both as I feel I am. Yeah. See, that's the problem. The problem for me, at least, is that they don't have any sort of loyalty and patriotism to the United States. And I think it's because they have had such a good life. People who usually have never been in the struggle will bite the hand that feeds them. If you don't struggle to live, you will take when you can and have no shame. So the majority of these people who loot and protest and go against ICE, like all of these immigration policies, those type of people never had to struggle. You won't see people who pick the fields, like you will never see the people who are picking the strawberries or the oranges in the California fields go out and protest. You'll never see that. It's usually the non-Mexicans, the non-immigrants who will go out and protest. And it says a lot about what's going on in our country. And we're going to be looking into that. Привет, брат. Привет, привет. I don't think it's a racial thing either. Like, there is a majority group. There's a lot of majority groups in the different republics, religious groups and different ethnic groups. But I think it's just a mentality thing. It's not about the color of your skin. I think it's just a mentality. Society in the United States has allowed people to get comfortable with looting and protesting and destroying their cities and their communities in order to prove a point. I don't think that another country exists like the United States where we're talking about illegal immigration and we have people protesting against deporting illegal immigrants. I've never seen this. I've never heard about this. This is absolutely lunatic. This is like lunacy. Same in Canada with the Mexican workers in Southern Ontario. They work hard and don't protest. That's because they have integrity. And this goes to real immigrants in every country. Those immigrants know that they have a lot to lose, so they would never protest. It contradicts their reality. I'm in Sweden, similar cooler weather like in Russia, plenty of forests, lakes, and rivers. Michael, welcome. So we're gonna go ahead and look at the first video here. I'm gonna one second. I have a question here. Do you know anything about La Raza? Can you explain? So I am a Mexican. I think that raza is just an excuse to not know your mom's language, your mom's culture, and your mom's homeland. I think that Chicanos, Latinos, Hispanos, all these different words that they came up with, Latinx, it's all the same. Okay, you can be a Mexican American and you can honor your family. You don't have to create a new word for it. So La Raza, Brown Pride, all this stuff, I don't identify with this because I'm a real Mexican. I'm not a political puppet. Like, I'm not going to fall into that trap. You know what I'm saying? La Raza doesn't exist. So also, Raza and all of that crap, like, they like to steal our culture. So fake Mexican Americans in the United States, they like to steal our culture. They wave our flag. They talk about our history. They talk about our traditions. And they try to take away from Mexico because they don't know who they are. So let's go ahead and look at the clips that I have saved for you here. I'm going to take the sound off and we're going to be looking at it. It's going to be in the background. But, hola desde Moscú. Hello to Moscow. Yeah, and if you think it's a racial thing, by the way, it's not. It's a societal thing. Black people in Los Angeles are not the same as black people in southern Georgia, okay? It's society. The black people in Los Angeles have been accustomed to gang violence and drug use. And the southern black folk that I've run into, they're not as heavy into drugs and gangs in the country, all right? Country people are not like that. So let's go ahead and watch this. And I'm going to be giving you essentially what we're watching here is I put this on the video because this guy had kind of been drugged up, right? And he was surfing a cop car. And when I saw the news, it got me thinking, like, I had never, ever imagined that I would see something like that. I had never seen something like that in Russia. I've never imagined something like this in Russia. I've lived here for 3 years. I don't think I've seen a person get in the face of a Russian cop. I've never seen that. But as you can see, this guy in the United States, he felt confident enough to moonwalk on that damn thing. And this is the video that motivated me to release my most recent video. The most recent video that I published was on 3 things that I have never seen in Russia that I usually experienced in the United States. Now, this was the one that got me thinking, is it possible for this type of stuff to happen in Russia? Like, I know that we're looking at it and we know it's happened, but could it possibly happen in Russia? So, this is where I started debating with myself. And technically, this one probably could happen. Um, but the first one that happens, it would be an example for the rest of the Russian people to never try it again. I feel that my conclusion was that Russian people learn from other people's mistakes much better than they do in the United States. Correct me if I'm wrong or give me your guys' opinion. This is just my idea. I feel like Russian society learns from the mistakes that were committed by others and they're very vigilant. If there were to have a Russian guy get naked and jump on a cop car, that guy would be made an example out of. He would be blasted on social media. All the Russians would be on their telegram knowing not to drink so much vodka and jump on a cop car. That is what I think. That is honestly what I think. In the United States, nobody's made an example out of. Like, you can commit many crimes and you're never made an example. This is, I think, a big problem in the United States. And you know what? Let's just say that it could happen in Russia. Let's say it could happen because anything could happen. Let's be realistic here. There are many drunk people in my hometown who do really weird stuff, but I don't see them jumping on top of a car naked. If it were to happen, again, I believe that they would be made of an example and it would be absolutely published everywhere in Russia. No more 3 strikes rules in California? No way. They should just make no, like, for hard crimes in California, you should be put away forever. And I'm talking about, like, like the essay stuff to kids. That right there should be automatic. Yeah, that is something that I wanted to bring up. PUSSY riot from Russia. They were naked and they got made an example out of. That's what I'm talking about. Ashley brings up a great point. That happened in Russia where there were women doing like some sort of naked stuff, but you haven't seen anything since, right? That goes to prove my point. When something radical happens, Russia really slams the hammer on that. It's quite interesting, guys. You have to really think about it. It almost happens automatically. And Ashley, thank you so much for bringing that up because I was going to show videos about that, but I don't really want to. I've already been demonetized for posting my last video. And we're not going to be looking at the PUSSY riot. That's what they were called. There were women who would go topless and play music and do all these weird things. They had the backing of the West. These people were 100% backed by the West. And the problem is that when you're backed by the West, you kind of have the bravery to push further than what you would normally push in Russia. But ever since they got the hammer slammed on them, haven't seen it. We don't have subtitles on live videos. I'm sorry, my friend. Yeah, I think they became a meme. There's all sorts of stuff. It happens. It happens. But guys, please let me know where you're watching from. We have a couple, maybe like 60 people loaded into this chat. I appreciate you guys' support. We have a jam-packed episode tonight. I just published a new video. SD guy, thank you so much for the support, my friend. We're almost going to get this show started. I'm just blabbering. So I just want to know where everybody's watching from. It looks like we have a couple new viewers. I see some names that I haven't seen in a while or ever. Is there a lot of private security in Russia? Look, you can have anything you want in Russia if you have the money like everywhere else. But as far as private security, you won't need it if you're a normal civilian, depending on what part of Russia you live in. Obviously, if you live in the wilderness, you're not going to have security. But where I'm from right here, there's cops that patrol in the night. Ah, she's still from Mexico. Viva Mexico. Rio de Janeiro, nice. Watching from Iowa, Arizona, nice. Yeah, the big islands in town, man. Thank you, Sid. Thank you. Listen, before we move on to the next one, I have to make some disclaimers because I got already, like I said, demonetized and it's so demotivating. What I'm going to say right now is the truth. I grew up knowing no gay people. When I joined the United States Marine Corps, I spent another 4 years without knowing any gay people. When I got out of the Marine Corps, that's when I started seeing gay people, like in real life. But I never seen them. I saw them on the television in the 1990s, and it was nothing like really crazy. Now, in 2016 or 18, something like this, 2018 or 19, no, 2020, I think, I moved in with a gay roommate. I had two gay roommates actually. They never bothered me. I have nothing against them, and I think that people are born gay. Now, the the news today showed that they were celebrating 50 years of gay pride in Washington, D.C. And that's something that grabbed my attention. I'm going to show you clips of the gay parade. Now, I am not against people of the same sex enjoying their time with people of the same sex. You can think whatever you want, but the reason why I accept everybody is because I can't change you. And I'm not the owner of the world. That is my belief. If I do not control